Space. So what they've got to try and make it work, and that's the big sort of separator, right? Fantasy, a bit more free to play in that position, and gone fishing. And Con's first caught. Right, they're baiting the fight, but they're always ready for an expectation. It's actually Hates that gets caught out elsewhere. It's all okay. Well, they did get the pickup, but maybe a split second too late to drop the shield. 3 versus 3. I mean, I guess they were really trying to bait the attention, but they needed their teammate just one step quicker. There's still Palu pushing their way on through in towards the site itself in the 3 versus 2. And now they'll just rotate Dodos in, go for the plant, but it's actually the player in between Sandwich. Gets 1, gets 2. Not entirely sure what's going on with the awareness here, Jesse, but they seem a little bit loose, and their grasp on each other is a bit tenuous. Pino's holding...
So the East Stairs hold has to get a little creative, and they've done exactly that. The hop in from Dot straight into Rafters will force this player out of break room, but no. Fantasy just gets the kill into Dots instead. Another early shield kill from Fluxo.
Yeah, the shield's really not connecting well for them here. 2 in a row and 2...
A couple of them just ratting as well, and I don't know if the information's there for Fluxo. They've got some good Yuto clear with the Flores, but they have to be able to find these kills.
Well, the first is found. They're able to pop their way around, and but where will the approach come through? Bathroom seems to be the sidling up here, can utilize the Capital to get some coverage on towards the bolts. There's the C4, but it's a little bit premature. Instead, they look through and hope that they can try and get the catch. There's one. Oh, did he see the man cross? They've actually pulled off and gone back on towards it. The Capital's able to have no cover by the effect. They pulled themselves off the plant. But as the bees track them, there still needs to be something else on the back of it, and they have that swing position. In fact, they don't. Hates drops out and, well, just sort of escaped before they got 2 of them for the trouble.
Position is Twitch drones have done great work on the top floor so far. Finds going to be an angle looking towards Hates in the hallway, but he gets back into the site. 45 seconds.
Ooh, Hates is able to find that final trade after a long period of time, and so W7M is just sort of sat watching and waiting, really. The player's able to drift his way back out. Lobin does get revenge. Let's get the catch onto 1, and Palu finds Fantasy. Okay. Suddenly that net is starting to encircle, but Bassetto's doing his best to try and fight his way out, and the doubling bit of support is coming in as they're going for the plant itself. There's the second attempt on it. They'll hear it, but they don't want to cross the window because it's so dangerous, and the worry of the verticality, but they're actually looking the other way, and there's Lobin making sure he picks up 1.
Really helpful to give that early advantage to Fluxo W7M. And then with this Osa, Cons has it over towards Sandwich, and he just repels in now to plant the smoke.
Well, there it is. They're going for that plant you played, and it... Oh, no. Went down to a teammate's bolt at that point. Not entirely sure how that came together. Maybe he tried to escape a different bit of damage and ran in towards the fire and the confusion of the smoke, but either way... Fight in the drive, it's a Deimos against the player who knows exactly where they are, but in the meantime, it's a fight here against the mirror. Hopped up over the top, but Osa is able to hold on. And now in a 4 versus 1, Wizard left Dedez. Ram will be able to continue.
That plus the Bassetto one earlier. You're really on thin ice.
Sorry, there's been a while since we've casted together, but at this point, it's been a while since Wizard and Fantasy will get any further into the round. In fact, it's all sort of coming up. Fluxo W7M. Pino does find 1 at this point. They need to try and double down, and they've just pulled off the gas a second. Fluxo W7M. Oh, doesn't matter. Bassetto finds 1 and traded immediately back in. Leaves just Pino alone with a shield about to try and make friends with him. And this time, it's not a blitz to drop the shield and get into a fight of his own. Baits the motion, goes for players, right? They might lose the first. They might take a bit of a bump. Then they can try and drive on continually. You can see the look over each other, but you can also see Fantasy living up to his name. Gets the drift on towards 1 in the second. Monty caught so deadly. We're losing a couple of pixels here, but as the grenade bounces its way over, it's the 5 versus 3 situation. I'm not sure if you're in the same position, but make it 2, Jesse. Well, there's just none of that. He's having to push very blatantly via passport. He'll probably get shot as soon as he crosses the divide. Well, actually, no. He expected the fight elsewhere, but he can't quite get it cemented. And it's from...
He's been a really important player for Ninjas and Pyjamas, as he always is. Sense of fear. He just swings things that nobody else ever would. Top floor entrance is being happening now kind of through Pino, but it's Bassetto actually finds Dots as the second frag in this round in towards offices. The IGL fragging out.
Well, Fantasy does go down in the meantime, and they're just going to have to keep trying to put the pressure on right now because they started the approach. Doda's finishes can't seem to find that last step. That trade game I talked about before is a network that is never ending. And now, span round either side, suddenly two players pop up. And that puts two right back down. Basetto levels things up, as he said. That keen voice is trying to drive it, but now in a 1 versus 2. Wizard, all that is left, still outside. Needs to try and get himself towards the kit or find the fights themselves. They can just play this with a bit of pace and play them a bit further away from it, and we'll see if somebody else can fill in. But I guess it raises the worrying point of what happens when one of those gunners goes down. They've got to try and make things happen, and Wizard does. Waited so patient. Onside Fountain. You can see that Cons, I think, is below, but it's Dots. It swings out, takes the body, doubles back round. It's just think about where the deaths are happening, and oh, the lack of awareness somehow drifted through, appeared in the smoke, but put down as Pino gets the pinch on the other side. They're so ready for this swing on towards short. There's one on the stairs, one on beepers. There's one. Can't get the second. They don't go for the trade. Instead, Wizard drives on, and suddenly it's just Palu left above the site. 20 seconds, drops his way down. They play against the smoke plant, but at this point, they've maybe just got to drop the hatch and send it, and you can see them doubling up. They'll expect where the fight is, but how do they approach? There's the coverage of the grenade. There's a bit of the damage done. There's a bit of damage done towards the play. They can drive themselves in here, and they're, you know, sort of weighing up this surmounting pressure right there. They keep trying to apply, but it's Fantasy actually drifts his way in on the bottom of the stairs. Basetto gets traded out, but they can't quite catch Fantasy. He's slowly being surrounded here, Logan, on this position, because they now know that they've lost the Eastern stair set. There's a couple more that pop up for NIP, and Fluxo W7M have huge lead in, and he can't quite get the catch. The smoke saves the rotate in the position. Palu could still watch on the side, and now there's the motion. The impact over the top won't quite get anybody, but Pino sure does.
How now? You look at some of these defensive plays coming out from...
See, the snake is just eating all of this as well towards the team. They're putting themselves in, and Wizard knocks out Dodaz, but Lobin. Great C4 over the top. You sort of point out that we haven't seen him for a while, and he agrees. He's able to get rid of Snake and get rid of the read and intel for the cost of the C4, but as they go for the push and the pressure, Hates is able to find himself a second kill throughout this game as Wizard has sort of stepped himself up time and time again, but the shield does go down. No more Blackbeard, and oh, it's just traded. Big body blows back and forth all over the shop, and this is what I mean. NIP, they'll sort of run the numbers and then go for it all at once and make sure that they can keep going for it until suddenly there's a bit of a quelled silence, but Cons, blinded and holding on, being slowly surrounded, swings out to find one before it's comparison of the sort of shake in the first group when nobody can really get anything clean. There's Basetto taking, I was going to say, a lot of damage, even more. Dropped out and just kind of overextended a bit there.
Dodaz does end up going down. Again, he's playing that security.
Being caught by anybody. Just almost chasing ghosts here. And as the swing might come round on towards it, perfectly timed by Lobin, tucks the way up, but Hates in the meantime gets one immediately back. 3 versus 3. Still not done, but the problem becomes this timer, right? The next kill could swing around either side of Fountain. Could be a bit of the decider here. They got the drop and the rotate round on towards the stairs itself, and almost mistimed. Pre-fired either side. Low health either way, but it's time that they're wasting, and he's even able to get back to the site. Baited in towards the gun of Cons, and panic knives. He did well to still remove the player. 10 seconds as we're about to drift our way in towards the red time. Palu couldn't quite get the player on the drop down, but well, he doubles down and gets himself one, but Hates, he's doing his best, and Palu is just headed for the hills. He's off, he's out of there, and he's not going to be caught this time. Amos dragging underneath.
This is so nervous. He's going to track Dodaz, or he's going to try. Oh, it doesn't even need to track. Dodaz was standing on a mute chamber, so it wasn't possible.
That's the demonstration of what can happen. So now it's the track and the motion of the Deimos. He's trying to be very aggressive. It's bold, but I don't think it's really paid off. That's 2 kills for the Deimos. Underneath, there goes Lobin.
On a hard floor, they're trying to force him back, but he's been holding his ground so far.
Well, the Clash is going to try and hold on towards the line itself. There's at least one that pops in, but it was a firing squad. Doubled up, and well, that is all that they wrote here. NIP claim themselves.
Thank you, Pino. There it is. Our matchup is all set and done. And if you ask me, Pino at the top there, definitely brings back memories, right? Pino has been one of those breakout players. It feels like he just entered playing in SAL as a rookie. And then I have to slap myself silly and say, that was 7 years ago, Milosh. How old are you? Which, to be very honest,